Hi, I'm Jennifer Ruelens, landlord, educator, advocate, and broker of One Focus Property Management. Today, I'm making you a video, a speed round of questions, everything you've wanted to know about security deposits, but we're afraid to ask. The amount of security deposit that you can collect is based on the Pennsylvania security deposit laws. That says upon the acceptance of a new tenant, the maximum amount of security deposit that you can collect is equal to 2 months. So 2 months of the rent. So if the rent's $1,000, the maximum security deposit you can collect is $2,000. Now, here's the catch. At the end of the first year of tenancy, if the tenant remains for the beginning of the second year, the landlord must then return all security deposit over 1 month's rent. Okay, so if you have a tenant stay for the second year in that scenario and you had a $2,000 deposit, you would now be returning $1,000 and only holding $1,000. Now you can increase the amount of the deposit each year if the amount of the rent goes up, keeping with the rent amount. Until you hit the 5th year, then you're not allowed to increase the security deposit anymore. When you collect the security deposit is really a matter of personal preference. A good business decision would be to collect that security deposit before you rent the property. Now, sometimes landlords like to work with tenants. They like to make it easier and more affordable for them to move into the property. It's perfectly acceptable to take that security deposit in payments if you choose. That should be detailed in your lease agreement, and default of those payments should be treated like default of rent. Where you keep the security deposit for the first 2 years of tenancy is really up to you. I suggest that you keep it in a separate account from your personal operating funds. Those are tenants' funds. It's a liability to the tenant, and you really have no business treating it like an operating capital. So put that in a separate account. That's my advice. But what the law says is that security deposit needs to be in an interest-bearing account by the beginning of the 3rd year of tenancy. So those first 2 years of tenancy, you don't have to have it in an interest-bearing account. But the beginning of the 3rd year of tenancy, you do. Then, at the end of each year, starting at the end of the 3rd year, you must send the interest earned on those funds to the tenant each year. Now, you are allowed to keep the first % of interest earned in that interest-bearing account. So, if you have an interest-bearing account that is yielding less than 1% interest, you don't actually have to send any of that interest to the tenant. That can all be kept by you, the rental property owner, in exchange for administrative costs. But if you're fortunate enough to be earning an interest rate in excess of 1% on that money, then you would send anything earned beyond the first % of interest back to the tenant each year, starting on the 3rd anniversary. You can withhold from the security deposit the actual cost paid for repairs made to the property beyond normal wear and tear. So as a result of the tenant's actions, if there were damages to the property, again, beyond normal wear and tear, you can charge exactly what it cost you to fix those. If you don't fix it, if you don't have a receipt, you can't charge for it. So you can't say, well, you caused this damage, but I'm not going to make the fix, but I'm going to charge you the damage anyway. Can't do that. You can charge for cleaning and carpet cleaning if that's what's required to get the property back to the move-in condition. Additionally, if a tenant owes any rent charges, that would be also collectible from that final security deposit. Things like utility reimbursement. So if the tenant owed some utilities or turned the utilities off early and had additional utility responsibility under the lease, then you could also keep that too. The biggest mistake I see rental property owners making with their security deposit is not taking the 30-day limit after move out seriously. So in Pennsylvania, rental property owners have 30 days from the date of move out, that is the date the possession was returned to the landlord, to return the security deposit less any appropriate fees, along with an explanation of why they're withheld. So that means if on July 1st, the tenant moved out and gave us the keys back, by July 30th, you need to have sent to their provided forwarding address and the refund of the security deposit, and if it's partially or completely withheld, an accounting of what for, an itemized list. Now, this doesn't have to be itemized down to every nail and board used, but touch-up wall repairs, this amount. Countertop repairs, this amount. Cleaning, this amount. That's how you do that. So you have to send it within 30 days, because if you don't send it within 30 days, you're actually not allowed to keep any of the security deposit for any reason. And if the tenant sues you, you're gonna owe twice the amount of the security deposit to them. So take that 30-day limit really seriously and make sure you send out those security deposit refunds. I love bringing this information to you. These videos are designed for rental property owners and aspiring rental property owners. So if you liked this, please share with a friend, subscribe to the YouTube channel, send people to our social media. We really love meeting real estate investors and helping them achieve their dreams. So if you ever need help with your property management in North Central Pennsylvania, I hope you're going to reach out to One Focus Property Management. All right, folks, have a great day.